tear gas and arrested protesters. Opposition politicians called for the action in protest over rising prices. They're also demanding early elections. Health officials in Sri Lanka are warning of possible disease outbreaks in areas badly hit by floods. More than 1 million people have been affected in the north and the east of the island. Minal Fernandez has this.
Cleaning up the sludge, a business in ruins, a livelihood under threat. This family in Madiragiriya in north central Sri Lanka had 5 of their shops washed out.
I can't quantify the loss. It's only weeks since the last flood, and I couldn't salvage much then. I restocked however I could, and now this.
Here in the north central province, swollen rivers like this one behind me, and irrigation tanks reaching their spillover point and spewing into the surrounding villages have aggravated the flood situation.
People are getting their houses washed away, their livestock drowned, and crops are severely damaged. I mean, 21 to 22% of the rice crop in Sri Lanka is ruined.
Welfare centres like this one house over 230,000 people who are forced to leave their homes. Most of them receive food and emergency packs to tide over the crisis. But those who have stayed in their waterlogged homes are angry. Many say the government has not helped them.
Until now, we have not received any aid either from the government or aid organization. We haven't got 5 cents or even a single grain of rice.
The latest disaster will stretch the country's rescue services to breaking point and will once again test the resilience of many Sri Lankans who are only just rebuilding their lives. Minal Fernandez, Al Jazeera, Madiragiriya in north central Sri Lanka.
All right, still to come in sport, the Formula One driver Robert Kubica regains consciousness following surgery. All the details are coming up.
Business Latest is brought to you by Catalum, the most efficient and environmentally friendly aluminium smelter. Business Latest is brought to you by Catalum, the most efficient and environmentally friendly aluminium smelter.
As China undergoes profound changes, competition for jobs becomes a struggle to survive. 2 graduates fresh out of college seek employment in a city of 8 million people. Now entering the real world, the graduates become increasingly desperate and begin to question their college-trained talents. It's a time of hope and frustration for the workforce of the future. Faces of China at this time on Al Jazeera.
It is in the details. A look. A connection. The moments that reveal the truth. Award-winning documentaries from critically acclaimed filmmakers. Witness documentaries to open your eyes. At this time on Al Jazeera.
Hello again and welcome back. Time for the sport. Straight to Guy.
Thanks very much, Nick. Formula One driver Robert Kubica has regained consciousness. The Pole was in an induced coma after a 7-hour operation to try and save his hand. He also suffered multiple fractures to his right arm and leg following a high-speed crash in a rally in Italy on Sunday.
At last, some better news for those closest to Robert Kubica. After 7 hours of surgery aimed at saving his right hand, the Formula One driver awoke from an induced coma.
My patient spent this night in a good condition. The condition is stabilized. The hand is warm. It's a good signal. And actually, I have to go and see him right now.
Far away from the glamour of the Formula One circus, Kubica was driving this rally car in a relatively minor event in Italy when he crashed, leaving him with multiple fractures to his right arm, leg and hand. Kubica's recovery time has been put at around a year if the next few days show the hand surgery was totally successful.
As I told yesterday, we need 5 or 6 days more to see if the hand is well vascularized and much more time to see what will be the function. But we have to think positive.
Kubica, who's Poland's first ever Formula One driver, is likely to miss all of the new season, which starts in Bahrain next month. But after initial reports suggested his entire career was in doubt, Kubica's boss now thinks he could even return to the track later this year.
He's clearly suffering from the wounds on his leg and arm. But compared to 24 hours ago, I feel extremely relieved. The improvement that he's made, in my opinion, is of great significance, and this makes us hopeful for the future.
Morelli may be proven right, but there are likely to be further twists and turns before it's certain if Kubica can race at the sport's highest level again. Guy McCree, Al Jazeera.
On to cricket. Indian fans have been protesting against officials from the sport's governing body. ICC inspectors returned to the Eden Gardens Stadium in Calcutta on Monday. It comes after cricket's world governing body decided the venue was unfit to host one of the biggest games at the upcoming World Cup, the India versus England match at the end of February. The inspectors have returned to see if the Calcutta ground will be ready to host the further 3 matches that it's due to host.
India-England match transfer ho gaya hai Bangalore mein.
The match between India and England has been transferred to Bangalore. We're protesting as we wouldn't be able to watch the match. There is no match here. This is Sachin Tendulkar's last World Cup. We wouldn't be able to go outside the state to watch the match. We want the match to be back in Bengal.
On to football. Former England coach Steve McLaren has been sacked by German club Wolfsburg after just 7 months in charge. The 49-year-old became the first English manager to coach in the German league last August. That's after he steered Dutch side FC Twente to their maiden league title. But McLaren struggled at Wolfsburg. They're 1 point above the relegation zone following Saturday's 1-0 defeat at Hanover. Elsewhere, FIFA President Sepp Blatter has strongly indicated the 2022 World Cup in Qatar will take place in the summer, despite previously suggesting it could be moved to the winter. Blatter had previously stated he expected the games to move from their normal date because of the country's climate. He also said that all the 64 matches will be played in the territory of Qatar and not extended to their neighbouring countries. Green Bay Packers head coach Mike McCarthy believes his quarterback Aaron Rodgers can dominate the sport in the coming years. Rodgers threw 3 touchdown passes as he inspired Green Bay to their 4th Super Bowl title against the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday. Andy Richardson reports.
There's number 7, their quarterback. 2 of the sport's most storied franchises and 2 of the NFL's finest quarterbacks head-to-head for Super Bowl 45. It was Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers who started quickest. The Pittsburgh Steelers trailing by 21 points to 3 after this Greg Jennings touchdown. Rodgers would go on to throw for more than 300 yards. The Steelers stayed in touching distance, but in the 4th quarter, a 3rd touchdown pass from Rodgers, again to Jennings, looked to have made the game safe for the Packers. The Steelers responded though, Ben Roethlisberger throwing a 25-yard touchdown pass for Mike Wallace, and the Steelers were within 3 points. But a Packers field goal and a final incomplete pass from Roethlisberger
a lot of contact
meant the title was Green Bay's. 31-25, the final score.
Green Bay will take over.
It's just a feeling of accomplishment right now, that we've accomplished our goals. We talked about it March 16th when we met for the first time, And here we are, the world champions.
It's a tough game, and there's probably a lot of what-ifs. There's a lot of throws I'd like to have back. Like I said, I don't put a blame on anybody except myself.
The Vince Lombardi Trophy, named of course after the legendary Packers coach, on its way home for the first time since 1997. Andy Richardson, Al Jazeera.
And in cycling, three-time Tour of Qatar winner Tom Boonen took the honours in the opening stage of this year's race on Monday. In windy conditions, Boonen prevailed in a sprint finish to win the stage from Heinrich Hausler. It was the 18th stage win for Boonen on the Tour. The Belgian happy to return to winning ways.